It's absolutely a pleasure to welcome Charlotte Sale to Family History Down Under. And what I'd like you to start with, Charlotte, is if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about yourself.
Well, hi, Susie, and yes, it's lovely to be here. Now, I'm a historian, a family historian in Brisbane. I began looking at my family history many years ago to help out my mum when she was updating the Australian branch for some rallies overseas. Of course, now it's down to me, and I've been doing this for over 10 years. My interests lie in a number of different countries, but one that is probably most relevant today is my Welsh ancestry. I currently convene the Welsh interest group for the Queensland Family History Society, and we're often talking about not just how to find our records of our ancestors, but why they did things and when they did things and how did that affect the way that we came to be here in Australia. So it's been just great to be able to talk to you today about that.
That's great. And if I've got my facts correct, now you're talking to us at Family History Down Under 2021 about chapel and church in Wales, and also doing one of the recordings for us on agricultural labourers in 19th century Wales. So we're going to have the pleasure of you talking to us twice, once in real life and once on a recording. So just tell me, what appeals to you about the thought of getting involved in Family History Down Under 2021?
Well, I guess the first thing for all of us is that we'll actually be face to face for a lot of us, for a lot of the speakers. We can get together and not only hear wonderful speakers, but chat about it amongst ourselves, have a cuppa and get to know each other a little more and be able to explore some of these topics in a bit more detail. It's an added bonus for me that it's just up the road, but I think it'll be a really exciting time for us all, because I think that's probably the first big event where we can get together after COVID. So I know that a lot of my friends are really keenly looking forward to it. And yes, I'm talking on a couple of topics about Wales. Chapel and church, of course, is a really important part of researching Welsh ancestry, because nonconformism was a huge part of 19th and 20th century Wales. And that determines what records to look for, where to find baptisms, where to find marriages, where to find those tricky to find deaths, mainly because they're not all in the mainstream church the way they may be in other parts of Europe. And agricultural labourers, well, who doesn't have some of those? I think most of us do somewhere. And in Wales, it differs a little bit from the English situation. Many of the how-to books and references that we have talk about aglabs generically, but at root, a lot of that is the English circumstance. The culture in Wales was somewhat different. Rather like Ireland, Scotland, they were subjugated nations. They were colonies in our language. And so the behaviours and what was happening to our ancestors there was just that little bit different. And so I'll be focusing on those aspects.
Okay, Charlotte, you mentioned that you got involved because you were helping your mum. Was that the first instance where you really got into family history? And what's the main thing? You sound like you love the story behind the story. Is that what keeps you so involved in family history?
Absolutely. Yes, it is, Susie. I guess that was the first involvement in researching my family, but I was given a copy of Who's Related to Who in a kind of tree form way back in the dark ages when I went to do the Aussie thing and live in Europe for a while and spent time in England. And I've still got many relatives there, and I was told I had to look up, Billy Bloggs and Mary Smith, and this was my little cheat sheet for why and who they were. And I'm very lucky that I've kept contact with a lot of those people who've been able to help me. But that's given an extra dimension to the why and the stories. We therefore are able to get some oral history because they remember people that I don't know, and I remember people they don't know, and we can share them. I went in the last few years to visit one of two remaining living cousins of my father, who actually lives in Durban in South Africa, but she was born in central Queensland. Her father came out to work beside his brother, my grandfather, and then sold up for a nice big pot of money, went home to England, and his daughter married a South African. But it's those sort of people that we forget and we lose. And then when we meet them again, it's like they've always been there, you know, but just like a great aunt that's always been around the corner. And family history is full of friends that we just haven't met yet. Some of those, a lot of those are relatives, and there's quite a few that are just mates. And I love that side of it too, the fact that it is such a generous occupation that we enjoy. I think everyone enjoys chatting and hearing each other's successes and celebrating those.
Charlotte, that is so true. And I mean, I'm from down Geelong, down in Victoria, and I'm certainly looking at being allowed to come up to Queensland and be part of FHDU 2021. So I really appreciate your time today. It's been great chatting to you, and I will look forward to meeting you in March of next year at what is going to be a really exciting time, meeting up with other family historians. So thank you very much.
My pleasure, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone there.